The Tiny SA Ultra Plus. Tiny spectrum analyzer. Is it worth $260? We'll find out, hopefully, in this video. We're going to take a look at it here. Now, normally this is made by Zinco. It has a sensitivity range from 100 kilohertz, I think, to 7.6 gigahertz. So pretty good range. There are some that are cheaper that don't go quite as high up into the gigahertz range. I think 5.6. I saw one at about 180 for that. I actually ordered this for work because I'm trying to identify some interference sources that we have, and I debated about the best approach to it. To be honest, I consulted, I think, Grok on this one to see what the suggestion would be for how can I identify best what is going on with our situation. And it came up with some recommendations, which included this. And so I put in the request that, hey, I think I'm really going to need to order this as a tool to use at work. And so the nice thing about that is I get to play with it off hours, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'm going to start by unboxing. I like the box that it's in. Just it leaves a good first impression. If I'm going to pay $260 for something, it really does have a box worthy of that. By the way, it's made by Zinco. I'm going to hold it up closer there so you can see. I actually had already peeked, and so it's not wrapped as neatly as you might expect, but it is pretty tiny. I know some people talk about putting it in your shirt pocket, which it definitely does fit there. It works. Here you can get the specs on the back. So frequency range is 100 kilohertz to 900 megahertz, and then 900 megahertz to 7.3 gigahertz. I was off by a little bit, probably 0.3 gigahertz. But it does charge via USB. It has a 32 gig SD card for capturing what we find. It's going to be interesting. Looks like it has a microphone output. Here's our USB-C port for charging. And looks like we've got a switch up here, on-off switch, and then a little dial. It looks like a volume knob, but it's like a toggle left-right, and it also accepts a push. I had a shortwave receiver with something like that at one point, and I think one of my Zoom H4 recorders had something like that to navigate the menu. So it's a little different interface there, like it having a joystick of sorts. And then, of course, we've got our antenna. We've got calibration, I guess. We've got RF in or out there. Yeah, I'm going to have to read because I'll tell you, I've never used one of these before. I've never used anything quite like this before. And so it's going to be interesting and fun, and a little bit of a learning curve at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and do the ceremonial peeling here. I know there's something very satisfying about that. Don't know why. Somebody out there I know also enjoys that. Zenio ZS407 spectrum analyzer. That's our model number if you want to be looking. Plus 6 dBm RF and 5 volts DC max. And so let's look at what else we've got in our box here. Plastic little caddy. We've got, their typical logo stuff. We've got a USB cable. Oh, that's awesome. So many things these days neglect to put the USB cable in. I gotta say, I really do appreciate that. And we've got a connector join so that I could, in theory, connect a radio directly up to it to test, which may well happen at some point. It's definitely on my list of things that I might do with this. So we've got a little female to female adapter there. looks like. And so that looks like that could be workable. We also have just a standard telescoping antenna with your male adapter or male plug there. I'm trying to remember. I am kind of fuzzy right now on. Oh, we've got the wrist lanyard. Yeah, so you can strap it on your wrist. We've got a pin for the touch screen, which is awesome. I wish there was a way to dock that pin. I don't see a real way to dock it here. Um, that's too bad. It would be nice if they could have made a little cavity there to slide it in. And then we've got some other patch cables that are male to male, looks like. Let me go back and check this. Yeah, that's a female there. And so we've got a few options for getting something connected, whether it's via a cable directly, getting signal in through the antenna, which is probably how I'll use it most at first, because I am going to be walking around a factory environment, just kind of analyzing what our RF profile is there. Might also do some testing with radios, not direct, but even over the air through a distance, just to experiment with what the signal cut looks like between obstacles, barriers. I see a lot of things I could be playing with here. Let's see. So let me turn it on and see if it came with a charge. Sure enough, it's starting. Oops, sorry. And we already see some, our nice chart there showing us where there is some peaks in the spectrum. It looks like this display is stopping at 900 megahertz. And so I'm thinking that I can pause it at a certain spot. I don't know how well this is showing, but I can also navigate, and I'll need to read, okay, 751.6 megahertz. I can find in the upper left corner where my spikes are here. Let me see if I can get it moving any faster than that. I'm using this little roll toggle to identify where our spikes are. 557. As you can see, the little dial up here at the top is the navigation tool. 597. So we've got some spikes in some unusual places, some interference sources here. 475. And then I'm going to identify one of the lower ones here just for fun. See if we've got 192, 188, and then this could be FM. Yep, 98.2, 96.2. We've probably got FM stations down there for that. But I'm going to unpause it if I can easily. There we go. And now we're more to the real time. I'll extend the antenna out a little bit more. And obviously I'm going to need to play around and see how I get it to the upper range. I'm going to have to check here, frequency. Here's our start stop. Okay, so we could even tune into a smaller range of the spectrum by setting the frequency that we're doing. This is going to have some neat options for me, I think. Let me go back. Navigation is not that bad, considering with a little toggle, and it is a touch screen as well, which I forgot for a moment, but I could be using this little pin with it. It looks like maybe we could use the lanyard for the pin. That might not be a bad approach to doing it. And then there's a place there, so I might could somehow tether the pin on there and keep the pin with it with that. Anyway, that's definitely workable. We've got multi-band options. Interesting. You can save some of your options. I don't know how well that's going to display there, but you can definitely save some. I'm trying to get it where there's not the glare on the screen. So you can save some presets for your frequency ranges, um, bands. You can deal with your presets there that way. Let me see if I can get out of that. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be a really good tool for a lot of things. A lot of things on this channel. I might wind up buying it from work, to be honest, eventually, once our current project is dealt with. But first impression is that this is a pretty slick tool for, even though it was $260. Gives you a good chance to analyze output from radios, which I'm a little chicken to try it right now on the radio. I want to do a little bit of reading first, and you notice we don't have a manual. I'm assuming from the text here that the user manual is just a QR code away, which is good, and that unlocks ultra mode. But I do like having physical manuals, especially at this price point. I feel like I like that. If I pay $260 for something, the nice box is one thing, but can we have a printed manual, please? I like that you can find one online, don't get me wrong. But that would be one of the critiques I would have at this point already. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be very useful. I'm going to need to learn more about it before I give you a good detail. So I don't know if I can quite say is it worth it or not, but at this point, yeah, I'm impressed. Nice little bit of hardware here. I can see a lot of potential uses for it. And as far as identifying directional issues, we could make this antenna, replace it with a directional antenna for one, or I could stand, shield it with my body, work around. Um, Although for some frequency ranges that we're covering, that might not be as good a test as some would think. But yeah, we can come up with some things. I could probably come up with a little bit of a Yagi antenna for whatever frequencies we're most interested in, and get a connector on it to adapt to that. And we are pure directional at that point. And it looks like we can capture output too. So I'll have to read up, study up, practice and play with it, and then get back to you on that. But look for future videos that are going to feature this. This is definitely going to get a fair amount of use here. And to be honest, yeah, I might wind up buying this from them. Or at least getting my own to play with. So anyway, that's the unboxing and the first impressions. Let me know what you think about it. Have you ever used a signal analyzer before? Do you think it would be worth it for you for day-to-day use? I know a lot of old school hams. They would in a heartbeat, I think. Um, GMRS, a lot of times we don't get into the technical side of things as much. It's more about having a radio to pick up and use when you need it, as opposed to understanding how it works. Um, I'm more of a, I want to understand how it works, but when I need it, I would like to just be able to pick it up and use it. So this kind of feeds my curiosity and my, hey, are the Chinese made radios really as bad output as they say? Because you're gonna know I'm gonna test that. Um, so would this be worth it for you? Let me know in the comments. Also, what would you make use of this for? I've heard a few fox hunts on the air. Now, obviously, a radio with a directional antenna can help you with that, but this maybe makes it more visual. I don't know. Maybe this is better in that sense. Identifying interference sources is one of the first uses I'm going to experiment with it. What would you want me to test first with this? Is there a specific radio that I've hit before? The Baofeng 5RM, the little TID radio here, the Woshun, the Retevis digital, any of those, or maybe one of the older Baofengs I've got, or the GM15, the GMRS variant. Would you like to see some tests with those? Let me know in the comments. I may put up a poll here soon asking which one I should do first. Yeah, let me do that. Anyway, thank you again for joining. Look for more videos coming soon. I've got finally a full review of the Woshun. I've used it off and on quite a bit over the last 8 months. I've got more comparison videos coming up. I've got a rethink on what the one radio I'd keep with me just about any time is. And I've got a little longer use case reviews of some of the other radios with them, which hopefully will be helpful to you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in. I will have some new videos for you soon. Take care, and I will see you soon.